Assignment 2, Part 1, Ethics. The Elliot Mall collapse. The Algo Center Mall was built in 1980 and was located in Elliot Lake, Ontario. Integrated in the mall, there was a four-story hotel, and the roof of the mall was used as a parking garage. Some officials say that the mall collapsed surprisingly way later than it should have based on all of its structural issues. Not only has the mall once been fined $5,000 for two fire code violations, but from the very beginning it had a leakage problem. The owners of the mall did not take proper care of this in order to eliminate the problem completely. What they did was simply try to seal up any of the cracks where the leakage has come through. The water leaked into the steel structural foundation and significantly sped up the corrosion rates. Scientists describe those corrosion rates seen in the foundation closely related to the ones solely found in marine environments. Quoting from an article of Toronto Star, steel supports were so rusted that it looked as if they spent decades in seawater. The corrosion kept spreading, decreasing the stretch of the materials. This led to one specific area of the foundation to have very little material, and it could no longer support the weight of the parking lot. On June 23rd, 2012, the rooftop collapsed under the weight of the cars. The concrete panels have collapsed from the lot into the top level of the mall. This failure has killed two people, as well as injuring about another 20.
Ethical responsibilities of the primary subjects in relationship to this case. The owners and engineers of this building are the primary subjects in this case, and they had ethical responsibilities when responding to the issues in this building. The main responsibility was to ensure the building was safe and met proper structural requirements. This failed as the mall had many structural issues. When there were increasing structural issues and rising concerns, the owner and engineers decided to use temporary fixes, which not only resulted in causing issues for business owners, but also a collapse that put people's safety at risk. The owner and engineers should not have taken the easy route to these issues. Instead, they should have taken responsibility for their mistakes and taken the problems more seriously and with greater concern for the community.
Ethical issues, challenges, and dilemmas faced by the primary subjects. The primary subjects, such as engineers and owners of the building, have faced numerous ethical issues and dilemmas. For example, the first case where the building had an initial leak, the management did not handle the situation properly. Perhaps they were faced with a dilemma between doing the right thing and closing down the building until it's taken care of, or patch up the leakage spots and hope for the best. They chose the latter option as it would appear more easier and more beneficial for the company. Another ethical dilemma revolved around the hearing and addressing the failure to the public. For example, the engineer of the mall, Robert Wood, was found not guilty. He declared that he checked the building 2 months prior to its collapse and it looked perfectly intact with no faults. The rusting has begun since the day it opened, and the water leakage seeped into the structure. The engineer should be held accountable for this, especially after putting so many people's lives in danger and ending two of them. Three more alternate options. One alternate option the primary subject should choose is transparent accountability. They need to openly and honestly communicate any mistakes and negligence that resulted in the collapse. By doing so and also sharing their forward steps, the management and the community are able to make an ethical resolution. Secondly, the primary subject should put their focus on community engagement. This can involve reaching out to the affected people and establishing support mechanisms for them. This can help the company rebuild the trust and start the recovery process. Lastly, the engineers and the management should implement new and strong safety measures and protocols for their structures in the future. This can involve more frequent checkups, inspections, and maintenance work. This will ensure the safety of the community.
As stated before, the owners and engineers of the Elliot Lake Mall had an ethical responsibility when responding to the issues of the building. They had to make sure the building was structurally sound in order to keep everyone safe. The owner and engineer did not hold accountability to the issue and therefore made them untrustworthy and unethical. When problems arise, they decided to do temporary fixes and patch-up jobs because it was the quickest and cheapest route instead of taking the time and money to fix it properly. From their unethical decision, they ended up killing and injuring many people in the mall. Instead of taking the easiest route, they should have taken the time to fix the problem permanently in order to save the lives of the customers in the future. The most ethical decision that the engineer and mall owner should have made was to fully understand the problem with the mall and fix the structural issues. If it was not for the engineer's laziness in checking the structural integrity of the mall, there would not have been any injuries to the customers. As stated before, we believe that there should have been more frequent checks for structural integrity, regular safety inspections, and maintenance work to ensure the safety of the community.